Good evening everyone, and welcome to the final episode of Gundam News of the year. And unfortunately, it is going to be a bit shorter, because my schedule was a bit more packed than I was expecting, and I've still got like half of the Comic guidebook to get through before tomorrow. Also, this video is possibly a bit more echoey because of the hotel room that I'm in, but at least the lighting seems to be really good, so that's a positive. But without any further ado, let's get on with some really cool Witch from Mercury news. First of all, if you were annoyed that it was only available on YouTube in select Asian regions because you hadn't used NordVPN yet with the code kkrt to dodge those pesky region locks at a great discount and support the channel at the same time, well then you'll be happy to hear that from December 31st, you'll be able to watch it for free on YouTube in North America, Latin America, Europe, Africa, the Middle East, Southeast Asia, and Oceania. Now, the only downside will be that they're still going to be releasing weekly, so it's not going to be in one go, meaning that if you want to be up to date, you'll still have to use NordVPN and switch your region to something like Singapore, which is what I'm going to keep doing. And the second cool thing then is that in the latest Gundam Ace issue, they announced that Witch from Mercury will be getting an official side story manga. And while we don't know too much so far, what we do know is really promising. The scriptwriter will be Ko Yoneyama, who is also a scriptwriter for the main series, episode 7 in particular, and the art will be taken from Chika Tojo, currently most famous for the Saga of Tanya the Evil manga, and for the setting cooperation we have Hisadake, who also does the setting cooperation for the main series. As for the story itself, it'll take place several years after the Vanitas incident and follows the single surviving witch as she travels a desolate Earth bearing the curse of the Gundam. So it sounds to me like it's going to be the missing link between the witches from Mercury and the witches from Earth. Also, looking at Ko Yoneyama's art from the Saga of Tanya the Evil manga, I think it fits perfect with the character design of Sophie, so I really hope she's going to be making an appearance in the manga. But that is all that we know so far. On the Gunpla front then, right after the Bandai Hobby Next Phase Winter 2022, we got another Gunpla announcement. From Mobile Suit Discovery comes the high-grade full armored Gundam. And for a high grade, this thing comes packing with some pretty intricate details. We've got opening missile launchers for the legs and the torso, and you can strip all of the full armor parts to reveal a regular RX-78 underneath. 3,300 yen or 25 US is no small price to pay for a high grade, but this one does go a very long way to justify that price with some really cool gimmicks, a lot of detail, and a slide of water slide decals. Which is also evidenced by the fact that the original set of pre-orders sold out really quickly, and a second round of pre-orders went up a mere 4 days later. The first batch is scheduled for a February release, with the second batch being slated for an April release, and I wouldn't be surprised if we got a third batch. But the real heavy hitters this week were the figures. With pre-orders opening on the 23rd for the Gundam Fixed Figuration Metal Composite Jim Sleggar Custom Cucuruz Doan's Island version. And for 22,000 yen, 164 US, this thing does come packed with some nice accessories. Because in addition to the regular stuff like the shield, beam rifle, and beam spray gun, it also comes with waist and back mounted missile launchers, and it even has 3 extra parts for Doan Zaku and the Gundam. These being a rock, a heat hawk, and a damaged shield. And all of this can be yours in June. A bit cheaper then were the Robot Spirits BuCUE and ZAFT weapon set, which had their details unveiled on the same day, and both sets will go up for pre-order at regular stores on January the 12th. The BuCUE will come rolling your way in May, and for 7,150 yen, 50 US, this thing looks absolutely fantastic. The extra effect parts that it comes with really make all of the difference and allow you to make some super dynamic anime accurate poses. There's parts for the thrusters, the beam sabers, the rail guns, and even the dust effect parts for when it transforms into its tank mode. The only bad thing that I can say about this set is that it only comes with the rail guns, and that for the missile option, you have to get the ZAFT weapon set, which retails for 4,950 yen, 37 US, and is also slated for a May release. And in addition to the BuCUE's missile launcher, it also comes with effect parts for it and a pair of giant missile launchers for the Jin that also come with effect parts, and the missiles come with 2 fin options, folded up for when they're still on the launcher and deployed for when they're launched. I kind of feel like getting a set of these for my high-grade Jins because at this point I don't feel like we're still going to get the D equipment in high-grade. Maybe in master grade as a P-Bandai because, well, we recently did get the master grade, but I have all but given up hope for the high-grade line. Or if you want to go for some absolutely top-of-the-line stuff, well, then pre-orders for the metal structure Kaitai Shouki Sazabi option part set will open up on January the 10th. And for only 29,700 yen, 222 US, you'll get to add a prototype long rifle, prototype long barrel, prototype fin funnel container, supply unit, 6 energy tubes, and minifigures of Char in his piloting suit, Quespariah, and 3 mechanics to your top-of-the-line Sazabi. And I said only because the Sazabi itself goes for a sweet 189,200 yen, or 1,411 US. Goodbye wallet. And of course, there were also some extra P-Bandai pre-orders. The Master Grade Star Jagan got a 2nd round, the High Grade Engage Zero a 3rd round, and the Skiing F90 got a 2nd round, which was of course accompanied by a bunch of other F90 kits also getting extra pre-orders as well. The regular F90, F90 Mars Spec, Mission Pack DNG, Mission Pack ENS, Mission Pack H, Mission Pack W, and the special hanger set to put them all on. And then finally, both the regular and G3 Sound Warrior Gundams also got some extra pre-orders as well. Back to Witch from Mercury then, we finally got the 2nd to last episode of the season, and man was it a doozy. The person or people in charge of animating Miorine's face really had a blast. And that chase scene quickly became one of my favorite Witch from Mercury scenes. And talking about favorites, I noticed that quite a few people were really fond of Sophie, who got her profile added to the official website. She's the pilot of the Illithrid Ur and is part of the anti-Spatian organization Doan.Info. As she clearly showcased during the last episode, she follows her instincts and isn't afraid to use violence to get what she wants. She also took a keen interest in the 2 main witches of the series, that being Suletta and the Ariel. Her partner then is Norea Dunok, and underneath that calm exterior, she hides an intense hatred for Spatians and a pessimistic outlook on the world. Both of them are under the command of Olcott, a veteran mobile suit commander who is trusted by his troops, and finally there was Naji Gior Hija, who is the leader of the group and uses the pretense of improving the Earth's standing to conduct his guerrilla war. So clearly there's a lot more going on than them just trying to better the position of Urshans versus Spatians. And since we're on the topic of characters, man, time has not been kind to Kanonji. For anyone who wasn't sure, yes, this is the same guy as the ace pilot from the prologue. And we saw yet another really interesting thing. This Gundam that bears a striking resemblance to the Ariel. I wonder if this is going to be like the mid-series upgraded Gundam, and if so, how Suletta is going to respond to this. Because for obvious reasons, she is extremely fond of the Ariel, and the thing even has its own consciousness, so are they just going to be able to transfer that to the new Gundam, or is it going to be something a bit more dramatic? In other news then, the Urdr Hunt soundtrack CD will be releasing on January 25th for 3,850 yen, 29 US, and features one CD with Urdr Hunt tracks and a second CD with a selection of the best Iron-Blooded Orphans tracks. Gundam will be having a collaboration with the basketball team Shimane Susanoo Magic, of which more details will be coming soon. The Master Grade Zeta Gundam website has been updated, linked down below, and unfortunately its release date has been set back from February to April. The Gundam.Info Twitter account has reached 200,000 followers, a feat they celebrated with this very nice illustration from Mitsugi. And over at the Gundam Factory Yokohama, they'll be having a special New Year's Eve stream that starts at 9 PM Japan time on December the 31st. It'll of course feature the life-sized moving Gundam, and the voice actresses of Suletta, Miorine, and Chuchu will also be making an appearance, so definitely something worth checking out, and I'll of course have that linked down below. In the gaming news then, in Gundam Battle Operation 2, the Phoenix NT version joins the fight, as well as a New Year's campaign with a bunch of free stuff. In Gundam Breaker Mobile, the T-Attribute Unicorn Gundam Luminous Crystal version and S-Attribute Tornado Gundam joined the fun. The Gundam That Entered the Atmosphere event went live, and a crew multi-mission. Gundam Evolution also had a bunch of things happening, but I'll get back to you on that. And in UC Engage, we have an event gacha for the UR Banshee Norn and UR Riddy, as well as the second half of the first anniversary campaign and a clan battle event. Or if you prefer card games, the pre-order started for the SD Gundam Gaiden Sieg Zeon Hen Superior Dragon Edition. The cards are slated for a March release, and 6,000 yen, 45 US, gets you 45 cards as well as a 12-page booklet. On to the things you could get this week then. On the 24th, the Titanium Finish Master Grade Wing Gundam Zero Endless Waltz version Katoki was released over at the Gundam base for 15,950 yen, 120 US. From the 26th, the Gashapon Senshi Forte 16 began popping up in Gashapon machines all across Japan, and for 500 yen a spin, 4 US, you can either get an Ariel, Daryl Baldy, Feroct, Michaelis, or an option set, which comes with a little bit for everyone. Because sharing is caring. On the same day then, the third selection of the FW Gundam Converge 10th Anniversary Collection also appeared, and here you can get an Else Quanta, Methus, Burga Black Vanguard version, Zaku 2 Revive version, Hainu Revive version, and Gundam Ariel with a soda-flavored piece of chewing gum for 693 in a pop or 5 US. And then finally, also on the 26th, you could get a Witch from Mercury desk mat for 3,300 yen a piece, 25 US. There is an Elan 1, Shadiq 1, Choo-Choo 1, or an Aztec Cassia 1. As for this week's Gundam reading material, there was the February issue of Hobby Japan featuring the 20th anniversary of Gundam Seed, the February issue of Model Graphics featuring the Master Grade Extreme Strike Freedom Gundam, High Grade Delanza, and more. There was the third episode of Gundam Thunderbolt's Stratosphere Sprinters, linked down below. The Legend of Dragon Knight comic began, which is also linked down below, as well as the 9th chapter of Gundam Sequel. Then we had the February issue of Gundam Ace, which had that announcement for the manga side story, the January issue of Grand Jump Mucha, in which Gundam Rust Horizon is being serialized. We got the Great Mechanics mobile suits developed by ZAFT, the Cucuruz's Island version of Yasuhiko Yoshikazu's back pages, and the Daryl side of Thunderbolt Mechanics. And for physical mangas, we got the 10th volume of Gundam Walpurgis, the 2nd volume of Gundam Seed Eclipse, and the 2nd volume of Remnant 1. And this week then, we are ending it a bit sooner with some Gundam Café news. With the new year around the corner, the Gundam Factory Yokohama will also celebrate its 2nd anniversary with some limited latte art. The first design is available until December 31st, and the second design is available until January 31st. And that has been all for this week's Gundam news. I will be back as soon as possible with all of the apparel and the Gundam polls, but for now, I'll just link you to the latest Gundam apparel on Hobbling Japan. They've got some really cool new Gundam t-shirts that are up for pre-order. As always, a big thank you to the Patreon supporters. I hope everyone watching has a great evening and also a great new year, and I'll see you all next year with more Gundam news.